Okay guys, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to draw your hands in a different position other than open or pointing. I'm going to do the peace sign, okay? We're going to learn how to draw a peace sign, which you can use the same technique and draw any other position. For example, if you wanted to do like number 1, or if you wanted to hold it like this for any other designs like this, okay? Don't draw this, okay? All right. You could just look it up. Anyways, so remember when we're drawing our final projects, you guys don't want to have any inappropriate gestures. So no middle fingers, no shockers, no gang affiliated fingers. Okay? You just look that up and ask a classmate, okay? Can someone open the door, please? So please make sure that when you are drawing your hands, you guys are drawing something class appropriate, okay? So here we go. I'm going to start off by drawing the peace sign. So what you're going to do is notice when our hands, our open palm is, our arc isn't as extreme. It does kind of come down, but when we fold our fingers over, you'll notice the arc becomes even more exaggerated, okay? Your top portion of your hand folds over more. So when we're drawing our arc, okay, you want to really emphasize that arc coming down a little bit more so than what it would be when we're drawing an open hand. Okay, and you can just kind of draw that one a little bit more. What? All right. Again, you're drawing very lightly. I'm going a little darker so you guys can all see. When you're drawing your fingers, it's really good to use your own hand or a picture of someone's hand as your reference. This helps you figure out where the placement of everything needs to go. It shows you all the little creases and folds that your hand makes, the shadows. Okay, so now I'm going to come down and draw this nice little curve that I have. Okay, everyone might have a little different shape, but mine comes in curves. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. And now notice the thumb, when it's folded over like this, there's a knuckle here. This knuckle kind of pops out a little. So I'm going to draw my knuckle kind of popped out. And now I'm going to go ahead and continue the bottom of my wrist and draw that in. So I'm going to bring it down. And now I'm going to kind of close up my wrist. And I'm going to bring it up just like that. Okay? Michael? Can someone tap Michael? Michael! Are you drawing along? Are you following along? Okay, where's your paper? Well, all I hear is your music, but I don't see you drawing. How are you listening?
Well, you haven't given me a sheet of paper.
No, I told you to draw it in your notebook. Okay, so get your notebook out. Okay, everyone's headphones should be off. You need to be listening to the instructions. Alright. Now, Adrian, what finger do we start off with? The index finger?
The middle.
Why the middle finger? Yeah, so what size is our middle finger supposed to be, Adrian? Yeah, almost the same size as our palm. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, and my finger comes up to about there. So make sure you guys are doing the same thing. Okay? Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and draw in my finger. Your middle finger is kind of right in the middle of that section, so I'm going to draw that in. You want that to be straight. Just like when we're drawing the open palm, okay? Now I'm going to get my second finger in there, my index finger. And notice when they're closed, there's 3 sections, right? 1, 2, 3. My first index finger goes right up to the middle of this first section. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in my index finger, and the height of it should kind of end somewhere around there. So I'm going to draw it a little bit higher, just like that. And then you can adjust the line once you have it. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to draw in the marks for your other fingers. Notice the thumb comes out right about here, and when you're in the peace sign, it kind of comes up, and there's a slight bend in here where it covers your other fingers. Okay? So, and this section of your thumb, the first portion and the second portion, are about the same length and size. Alright. Now, just like we did our fingers yesterday, these ones are going to be going downwards. Okay, so I'm going to make marks for my two fingers, and they kind of go, they're not perfectly straight, they're kind of going at an angle. When you fold your fingers, they bend in an angle, they're not perfectly straight. So kind of get a nice little curve, or not curve, nice little bend, okay? Oh my gosh, I keep saying the wrong words. Get a nice little slant in there, okay? The rest of your fingers are going to get covered up. Alright, now we have all our basic marks that we're going to need. Now I'm going to go ahead and start creating my fingers. Okay, Diego, what do we do for our fingers to make them? What do we need to do to get our fingers started once we have our line? How do I figure out how to make my fingers? Okay, great answer. Okay, so I have my pencil. Now what do I do? I draw a line where? I draw, so just anywhere? What kind of line? Okay, can I have, Manny, what do we need to do next?
Do like little curvy line?
How do I figure out where to put my marks? What do I need to do to get this finger properly measured? Thirds, right? We need to separate these hands into thirds. So make sure you have two sections that are dividing up these fingers equally. This is the first section, second, and the third. They're all about equal size from each other, okay? So make sure you divide them up evenly. Alright? You can just eyeball it. You don't need to whip out a ruler and get it exact. But you want it to be pretty accurate visually. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for my index finger. Break these up into 3 equal parts. Okay. Now I can start building my fingers. Okay. And I'm going to just kind of build my fingers in there. Once this hits the arc, you're going to want to curve up and come up to finish your next finger. Bring it in here, curve this line down, and bring it in just like that. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and build the rest of my finger. And draw in this last section. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and do that for my next one. If you don't finish this section that you're drawing right now with your fingers, that's fine. You can go back in when you're done with the other sections, because I'm going to kind of move on. I'm going a little bit faster today, but you guys kind of already know the basis of how to draw these, so. Alright. Now I got my 2 fingers in, I got my palm. Now I'm going to work on my thumb. Notice this knuckle here comes out. I'm going to start building my finger around there. My thumb comes up over here. And where my knuckle comes, it kind of bends over. So I'm going to bring my finger up here, and where it kind of bends over, I'm going to create this nice little arc that I have in my thumb. And then I'm going to kind of fold it over. Create that thumb shape and bring it back down. Okay? Now my palm might be looking a little bit small compared to my fingers, so I might need to adjust the size. But that's okay. You guys are all drawing very lightly, so you can make adjustments if you need to. Okay? It's okay to make a mistake and have to go back and fix your size. Okay? What? So I'm drawing my thumb right now, coming over my fingers. Okay? Now notice where my thumb bends, I have all these creases. You see those creases? Those are going to create the illusion of a real hand. Right where my knuckle hits, right under there's a crease that comes through my palm. So I'm going to draw that in. And this line kind of comes pretty far down. I'm going to draw that in there, and it has a couple of different lines, really creating that fold. Okay, so those are critical when you're drawing your palm. Mine are a little too thick. But getting those folds and getting in those knuckle details are very important when you're drawing your hand. That's what's going to make it look realistic. Okay, I've got a fold in here with my thumb. Now I need to draw my fingernail. Notice this first portion of the thumb and the second portion, this nail is about the same size, halfway of this first section. So I'm going to go ahead and do another little parentheses here about halfway in my thumb. I'm going to curve this up and kind of finish off my little parentheses. Drawing my thumb there. Okay? Thumb. Throw out a little lisp. Thumb. Alright. Now, what do we need to do? Our last two fingers, right? So, go ahead and notice when you look at your finger, when it's in this position, you see what sections, okay? What sections do you see? 2 and a little bit of what? Is this the first or second or third? Yeah, the first. Yeah, so this is 1. If this is 1, 2, and 3, the third section is hidden. When you fold your finger over, you don't really see it. It's covered up by the rest of your finger. So this first section we're drawing is actually this section here. So where does it come up to when I look at my finger? It comes almost up to this second line, just below it. So when I'm drawing in this finger here, if this is my line, I need my finger shape to come up and over just about to that second line, and then comes down. And this comes down, and it kind of closes up here, and then I see a little bit of my next finger that's going to come in there, and that's kind of folded over. Okay? Alright, and now my next finger, same thing. The pinky kind of comes down. I probably need to fix this line. These lines weren't drawn. They should be like in the middle of your finger. Okay, so my pinky is going to come down over here. And it's going to come up about right here. Fold down. And kind of come over here, just like that. Kind of hits down a little bit lower. And it's tucked in right underneath that. And I actually see a little bit of my pinky right there. So once you hit under this thumb, you can kind of draw in that second portion if you see that second portion of your finger. Okay? But if you don't see it, everyone's hands are in different positions. Everyone's hands sit differently. So you might see different things than other people. Okay, I see a lot of people who aren't drawing. You should have your pencil on a paper drawing. Okay. What do you guys also notice over here? We see a part of this finger here coming out. So you got to draw the side of your finger and get that nice section in that's showing. Okay? That's kind of how you get the basic shape of your peace sign in. Now you would be able to take this design and kind of do any other finger shape with it. You kind of do the same position. You lay out your fingers and kind of use your guides to create that illusion. Now what we're going to do, okay, if you didn't finish this, you guys can finish it on your own or during practice after we're done with the next design. But what you're going to want to learn how to do as well is how to draw the hand from the side. Okay? Now, can we look at this hand and break it down into a basic shape? What is this basic shape that we see? Yeah, it's a triangle, but then we also have it kind of squared off here. So what is that called when we have triangular shape with this squared off? I'm going to kind of draw it here. So I have a triangle shape, and then it comes over and closes up right here. What is this shape called? Bradley? You already know how to draw the hand from the side?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, we're going to be learning, so it's kind of critical. Yeah, I think this is a trapezoid. Is that right? Where's my math people at? Calculus? Where's my geometry students? Trapezoid? Okay, well, it's a triangle with a line cutting it off. So if we were to continue, it would be a triangle. But we're going to go ahead and close that off, just like that. Okay? Now what we're going to do is notice, okay, when you look at the hand, we have our thumb coming out right under here, under the bottom part of this shape. And we have our fingers coming out from the top portion. Now notice this section here. This isn't actually your finger, right? This is actually part of your palm. So when we're drawing this in, we want to make sure we get this little section of fat in. And how I usually like to do that is just kind of create this illusion that there's like an extra portion here before we draw our finger in. And notice our thumb comes out right about here. And how many parts of our finger do we have for a thumb? Two sections for our thumb. So we're going to draw one and one more, and they're about equal in size. I'm going to draw this a little smaller. 1, 2. Alright. Now, I think it's always a good practice to kind of have your middle finger as the top part kind of coming up here. That way it gives it a little bit of more three-dimensionality when you're drawing. Draw this first, the middle finger knuckle up. Okay? Alright. Now all we have to do is build in our lines for our finger. How many sections of our finger do we have? 3. So out of here, 3 equal sections, we're going to draw 1, 2, 3. Okay? I'm drawing it kind of like it's folding over. So 1. Yeah, I'm making a C for Cookie. Wait, is that the Crypt logo? That's awkward. Unintentional. Alright. So here we go. Now you're going to kind of bring your finger over. And you see these nice folds you get when your fingers are folded over? You want to really emphasize those, okay? You got these nice folds. And then they come down, and then the section here gets a little bit smaller. It's kind of... Just kind of build around that. And you get your nice finger shape here. And bring it up. Okay, and then I'm going to build the top part of our knuckles. Come down, and then bring this next section in. Okay. Now, when you're drawing a fingernail, if you're drawing a fingernail from the side, your fingernail has this little curve in here, this little piece of You see that little piece of skin?
That's disgusting.
Okay, it's a fingernail, guys. Relax. Okay, everyone has this little dip here above their finger. It kind of bends in. And then your fingernail comes up out of that. Okay? And then you can kind of you would create your fingernail shape just like that. You get a nice little curve. It comes in just like that. Okay? And then your finger, right underneath that fingernail, your skin comes right out of there. Okay? And kind of comes down. So that's how you draw like the fingernails in your fingers. So you do that same thing here, kind of create that nice, and then you bring in that fold of the fingernail in. Okay? That, you can't even see that. Sorry. Alright. Now you're going to go ahead and just build in the fingers behind it. So you can kind of see this one comes up a little bit, and then it comes down right about here. Okay, and then once it comes down, under here, you're going to bring in this has like a little section here where you're going to draw in your palm. Okay, and then you bring in your fingers in between there. You kind of build them in there. You can draw your lines to help guide you of where your like fingers need to go, and then you can build with them. Okay, some come in front, some go behind. You need to see where they land on your finger. Okay, and if you don't see a finger, then you don't draw the finger. Okay? You don't want to draw something you don't see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and you would just finish off each finger just like that. Kind of going, depending on what you see, you would draw the rest of that finger in. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my thumb. So right around my thumb, I'm going to build my knuckle around it. And then it comes up, got this nice thumb shape. And then it comes in like that. Okay? And then you got this nice kind of fold here that comes in, connects to your palm. Okay, and if this comes out, you got to make sure that you get that section in the palm. If you see the palm in there, you got to draw that in as well. Okay? And then you would just finish off your fingers. Okay?
That does not look like Anna.
You get your fingernail in there. And then you would erase kind of all these guidelines that you made. And you would make it more, realistic. And help guide you with your... Our trapezoid was a little small for my finger sizes, but that's kind of the main gist of drawing it. And then you would erase those and kind of add in all your details. Okay, and then you would have shading under them. If you have a finger coming in under, you kind of add value under the fingers that have a shadow. Okay. Alright, so go ahead and keep practicing your different hand positions.